The New York Jets disaster continues.
Glorious, Herbie. It's glorious.
Right.
I love it, dog.
This is one of the funniest
I love
things ever.
I love it.
The New York Jets are so bad. And it
So
gets
bad.
worse and it gets more embarrassing by the fucking day. How could all of this have happened? How could all of this have happened? Like, this is crazy.
Herbie,
This is
like, you know, like, to be honest with you, like, this is the mission of a nightmare season. Like, Jets fan, and you know, and this is why I'm saying this is a nightmare season for Jets fans, because you see, Jets fans have been in a space that they have gotten accustomed to. The Jets are used to being in the dumpster. Jets fans are used to struggling and not having expectations and watching their team stink and watching their team, you know, might steal a game from a division rival here and there. But Herbie, this season, they came in really since last season, right? They had expectations. Aaron Rodgers blows his Achilles. You know, Zach Wilson. With Zach Wilson, listen, Zach Wilson took all that heat, Herbie. Everybody was giving him shit. He's a bust. We want A-Rod back. So Herbie, this season they got A-Rod back. And what do you know? Trash.
they
Basura.
scored less points with Aaron Rodgers than they did with Zach Wilson. To this
They have a
point
worse
in the
record,
season.
bro.
They have a worse record with Aaron Rodgers than they did with Zach Wilson. Here's the funniest thing about it. Everything we should have known last year. This big fucking doofus is running around with an American flag, and in 4 plays, he's holding his knee in a fetal position. We should have known this was going to be a disaster. We got the ending of the movie last season. We got the ending. We saw what happened. They put the end of the movie at the beginning of the movie. So if you want to just stick around and watch the whole movie, that's on you. I'm with it because I love watching a train wreck. This is a train wreck.
Of epic proportions.
Of epic proportions. And it is hilarious because it couldn't have happened to a guy that deserves it more than Aaron Rodgers.
You know what, Herbie? And
Go ahead.
No, I just want to say because of what you were saying, I'm gonna let you cook. But I just love the fact that Aaron Rodgers had the audacity, had the air. He wanted to have the ending that Brady did. He wanted to have the ending that Peyton did. Like, he wanted to go to another franchise, win a Super Bowl, and ride off into the sunset as the legend that he's always going to be. He's going to be a legend for all of football history. But Herbie, we're not going to forget this. Like, this is a stain on his resume. Like, because here's the thing, Herbie. Yeah, you got four MVPs, but you only won 1 Super Bowl, and that was what, in 2010? So, you know, this is a what have you done for me lately kind of league. And Aaron Rodgers, outside of being a great player, he hasn't really lived up to what a great player is supposed to do. And he's not alone in that. There's tons of them. But a guy with his talent was supposed to win more Super Bowls. A guy with his talent was supposed to get to more Super Bowls. And people could say that, oh, he never had a defense and all that. And there were some years where, yeah, if a team dropped 45 on you, I get it. But Herbie, that wasn't the case all the time. He had his opportunities. He had his opportunities against a fucking 49ers team that had Jimmy G, who at one point threw 8 passes in the championship game. He had his chances against Tom Brady in a second half where Brady threw 3 interceptions. Like, and he could have made the go-to play to actually win the game. Instead, they settled for a field goal. Like, Herbie, Aaron Rodgers, an all-time great quarterback, he has had opportunities to change his legacy. And this opportunity that he chose to take, and here's what's worse. He decided he wanted to come to the Jets. And now, after a disastrous 2 years, he wants to leave. And then, like, who are you going to go to, Aaron? Like, this has exposed who you are. It's like when you meet that fine, pretty girl.
Wait. Because there might be people that might not know all of the context. And I'll shape the story for you. But before we do this, we have a request, Rod. And the request is from our man, Tony P, man. There's nothing more serendipitous than seeing the Jets with a more trash record with A-Rod than Zach Wilson. Fuck them Jets. Say it with me, Rod.
Fuck them Jets. Yeah.
This is
Fuck the
beautiful.
Jets.
This is
Yes.
beautiful. So
I
if
love
you
it.
are somebody that's not familiar and you're not always on ESPN or Fox Sports or FS1 and you're just not super glued in with the Jets, because why would you? They're a bottom dwelling franchise as well. But there are reports that two things are happening. One, Aaron Rodgers might get benched for the rest of the season because they ain't trying to pay this nigga if he gets hurt. Two, everybody sees the writing on the wall that this marriage is over. And like Rod was saying, Aaron Rodgers is already seeing his exit. He's already trying to plan his exit strategy as far as where he can go. He still wants to play. And this is coming from Diana Rossini. Diana Rossini is a really, really good reporter. She might not always be right, but she is informed. And that's one thing I know about her, watching her, listening to her, and reading her articles and who she's plugged in with. And the other thing that was reported is that Woody Johnson was trying to bench this nigga 3 weeks ago.
Herbie, is Woody Johnson the new worst owner in football?
No, because I have to give Woody Johnson grace. Like, what do you want this man to do? His team has been ass for so long. Bro. Like, you gotta put your foot down at some point and say, yo, what is going on? Problem is, you hiring the niggas that continue
And
to
paying
make
them.
you ass and paying them. And again, on paper, this is supposed to be at minimum a 8-win team. Minimum. That them winning 8 games this season would have been a disappointment. So this is beyond that.
Far beyond.
You got Will McDonald, you got Garrett Wilson, you have Breece Hall, you have Braylon whatever, right? The
Braylon Edwards, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you have Braylon Edwards. You have plenty of people. You have Devontae Adams. You have Alan Lazard, because Aaron Rodgers thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, apparently. But you got him too. Shit, fuck it.
Hell, you even got Nathaniel Hackett in the building. You
got Nathaniel Hackett. How you losing with Nathaniel Hackett, dog?
Shooting dice in the hallways and shit.
How you do that?
Building.
How you losing with big Nathaniel, nigga? Nathaniel hot dog, nigga. Nathan's hot dog. How you losing with big Nathan? You
Hot
found
Nate,
a way.
Man.
Hot Nate. You found a way to lose with Hot Nate. This is what happens when somebody is playing football because they're bored and they thought that their talent could carry them like it has in the past. The same talent that got this man 4 MVPs. Nobody's taking away what he's done in this NFL, what he's done in this league. But like you said, he thought he was Brady. Ha! He thought he was Brady. And this is blown up in his face like he's the one who planted the C4 and detonated it, dog. This is so funny. And it couldn't have happened to a funnier franchise than the Jets. I'm starting to feel sorry for the Jets, dog. Like, Fireman Ed deserved better than this, man.
All those years of dedication for what?
All those years, man.
For what? Dog?
For what? To see a butt fumble? To see this? Hey, come on, man.
Herbie,
this
honestly, this has to be, in the past 20 years, the worst situation the Jets have been in, given the fact that this is even worse than the Favre situation. Because you know why? Brett Favre only came for 1 year, Herbie, but at least the Jets were competing for the division until the very end. Mm-hmm. The final game of the season came down. The division winner came down to the Dolphins and the Jets in that season. So yeah, Brett Favre might have equaled the amount of touchdowns to picks he threw that season. Sure. But at the very least, the Jets were in the playoff race. Like, the Jets had a chance. And you could argue Aaron Rodgers is a greater quarterback than Brett Favre, even though they have the same amount of Super Bowls. But you could argue Aaron Rodgers was greater. And look at what he's given you. Herbie, this couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Because Aaron Rodgers had this air about him. And here's the thing, Herbie. The one thing I've learned in life is that if you want a plant to grow, you also have to water it, right? And instead of, like, when Tom Brady went to the Bucs, that shit was during COVID. Tom Brady made it a point to collect, these niggas were getting kicked out of fucking high schools, bro. These niggas were getting kicked out of the park because Tom Brady was so addicted. He was so obsessed with winning. He brought the proper attitude with him to Tampa Bay. He brought a culture with him to Tampa Bay. Tom Brady brought cachet with him to Tampa Bay. Aaron Rodgers, you want to know what he brought? He brought what the bad bitches, what a bad bitch gonna bring a regular nigga, a headache, dog. That's what he did. Like Aaron Rodgers just brought a headache to a franchise that was looking to be saved. They say don't save her, she don't want to be saved.
She don't
but the
want
Jets
to be
wanted
saved.
to be the Jets wanted to be saved.
They
Herbie.
wanted to be saved.
But they got the wrong hero, man. What they got, they thought they was getting an upstanding man, but what they got is a deadbeat, Herbie. That's what they got. They got a deadbeat. They got a guy who doesn't really love the game like he once did, man. You can't love the game like you once did playing like the way he's been playing. You can't love the game like you did skipping out on mini camps and going to fucking Egypt and doing and fucking doing podcasts with Pat McAfee every week. Like my guy, you're a fucking football player. A franchise is paying you to actually get results, and what do? You just can't help but being Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, he's the star of the show. Everybody has to know what he's thinking. No, we don't care. We stopped caring because you're not great anymore. So it's just like, Herbie, for me, Herbie, listen, I'm relishing in this, dog.
Hey,
I'm relishing in
man,
this,
I
man.
ain't gonna lie, man. I felt that in my heart, dog, and I'm not. I ain't even Aaron, bro. Like you put a steak knife through this nigga, man. God damn, kid.
Bro, Herbie, you know what it is, dog? You get tired of seeing a guy who he has like Aaron Rodgers, for as intelligent of a person he is. The guy has no self-awareness, Herbie, and he doesn't care about other people. He's a fucking narcissist. Like Aaron Rodgers is a narcissist. Aaron Rodgers is all about himself, and he brought that. The Jets franchise, the fans, the players, the owner, bro. The fact that the owner wanted to bench this nigga, that tells you everything. That means the owner is sick of him. The owner is sick of him, dog. He's sick of that.
And before we go ahead and move on with this one, right? I just want to go ahead and reiterate what you're saying on that part, right? But after a September loss to the Denver Broncos, dropped the team to 2-2. This is how far back it goes. 2-2. They were still in it. A frustrated Woody Johnson called a meeting with high-ranking team officials and coaches in which he suggested benching 4-time MVP. Unsurprisingly, those in the room were stunned. Johnson ultimately walked back the suggestion. He fired Robert Saleh a week later. This is a fucking mess, and it's a beautiful mess, and I can't wait, man. But